This was one of the most difficult videos to listen to and give commentary on, because Roland Martin is so annoying to listen to. He's long-winded, he doesn't answer questions, he goes off on tangents that no one asked for, and he interrupts other people a lot. And his main purpose is to win no matter what. And you'll see in the end, when Patrick Bet David gives an evaluation of Roland Martin's personality. Roland Martin proves that he gives no consideration of the facts or the subject matter. And later in the video, he's going to explain that it's more about entertaining the people. But he speaks on serious issues. And again, he's trying to get black people to the polls to vote for Joe Biden. But once Joe and Kamala were sworn into office, they immediately turned their backs on black people. And Roland Martin is still trying to get black people to vote for them in the upcoming election. Will his tears work on you a second time?
Springfield West Baptist Church, super voting site in Dallas. Look at this, y'all. Y'all, massive line. Polls only been open 27 hours, 27 minutes. Look at these cars.
So in this video, Roland Martin joined the Valuetainment podcast, where he's debating Patrick Bet David on systemic racism. But I want to concentrate on Roland Martin's defense of the Democrats, even though he understands that the Democratic Party has never done anything for black people. Patrick Bet David asked Roland Martin the same one specific question over and over, and that is, in the past 59 years, since receiving 90% of the black vote, what has the Democratic Party done for black people? When he was asked that question, Roland Martin deflected, pointed the finger at Republicans, and he just talks too much. But we're going to discuss exactly what he was saying in his answers.
In the United States. Do you think Democrats care about blacks more than Republicans do?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
I can't. Let me tell you.
Define care.
Here's the first thing.
Define care.
I have to first be willing to even talk to you. Republicans, by and large, they want to avoid black people. A group of black Republicans in Illinois had a meeting.
This was an hour-and-a-half long podcast, and Roland Martin did this the entire time. Instead of simply answering the question, he goes into these long, drawn-out scenarios where he attempts to redirect the conversation.
With the state Republican Party.
Yeah.
And they laid out, hey, there are ways that we as a party can reach out to African Americans in Illinois, in Chicago. They finished their presentation. This is the first statement that's made. Guys, look, we're not going to support welfare. Black Republicans went, who the hell brought up welfare? It wasn't even our proposal. The black Republicans were insulted. And this group of white Republicans automatically went to welfare, and they said, we didn't even bring up welfare. Why is that the one thing you brought up?
What
Republicans,
community are you talking about? Where was this at?
It's Illinois.
Okay.
And so what I'm saying is,
and you're saying Illinois Democrats have done good for blacks in Illinois?
No, that's not what your question was. The question was this here, in terms of who is reaching out to him.
Right.
I wanted, when Mitch McConnell's book came out.
Right.
Now he's talking about Mitch McConnell. And like I said, Roland Martin does this the entire debate. So because of his tangent, I'm sure you've forgotten the original question. It was this straightforward and simple question.
Do you think Democrats care about blacks more than Republicans do?
As well, absolutely.
Really?
And so what happens is they avoid, in many ways, talking to African Americans. I'm never going to be able even to listen to you if you don't even talk to me. And if you ever talk to me, and I've had long conversations. I've known black Republicans my entire life. The frustration they have. You go back to Jackie Robinson and Nixon in 1960.
Now he's going all the way back to Jackie Robinson in 1960. Do you see the deflection? At this point, what is he talking about? Why is he in 1960? Roland Martin talked for a full 8 minutes and still no answer. And throughout the conversation, Patrick Bet David tried to keep Roland on task. But he went off the rails so many times. But again, I'm sure you've forgotten the question, so here it is again.
Do you think Democrats care about blacks more than Republicans do?
Oh, absolutely. The frustration that they have is here they are talking about being black conservative and being Republican, and the pushback and the hell they get from their own. I'm talking about, we've had like serious conversations, and we're talking about individuals who have been cabinet secretaries, who have been in many layers, who are millionaires, who are donors, and they express how it drives them crazy when they do it. That was Michael Williams, who worked in the Reagan Bush administration, a very good friend of mine. He was going to have a fundraiser at his house, and there was a guy running for Congress against Martin Frost in Texas, and he was campaigning. He brought J.C. Watts in and everything, and at the time, it was these black church burnings. And so Michael calls him up, and Michael said, hey, I think the candidate should release a statement with regards to these burning of black churches.
Yeah.
And they go, no, we're not going to do that. That's pandering. Michael said, I'm sorry, wait a minute. But y'all brought Congressman J.C. Watts in to tour with you to black churches on Sunday. He's like, what the hell do you call that? So Michael's wife, Donna said, because they went to a fundraiser at Michael and Donna's house. Donna said, ain't no man who's unwilling to speak against the burning of black churches, welcome in my house. You let them know, no statement, he will not step foot in this house for a fundraiser.
You still haven't answered my question.
I'm laying out to you examples of how Republicans.
Roland Martin cannot name anything that the Democrats have done for black people. And that's why his first response is to simply deflect. These are basic questions that he can't answer. He's going to go on another rant down a rabbit hole to nowhere. But I'll remind you of the question again.
Democrats are only ones that had the votes of blacks since 1964, okay? 88% was 94% in 64.
It flipped in 64.
And it's now 88%, 86%, 90%, right?
Yep.
So if blacks have had, if Democrats have had that vote since 64, that's 60 years, 59 years to be exact. How come blacks haven't made major progress if Democrats care about blacks as much as they do?
Well, first of all, that's actually flawed question, because when you say haven't made major
progress. What kind of progress have they made?
No, let me allow to unpack.
I would love to hear
that.
I'm sure black people realize that other communities call us fools for continuing to vote for Democrats when we receive nothing for our vote. Is Roland Martin asking you to be satisfied that he is acknowledging the problems? Because acknowledging the problems don't solve the problems.
So when you look at what you coming out of 1960s, then you go in 1970s, when you begin to see your first wave of black mayors across the country, Marion Barry in D.C., Maynard Jackson in Atlanta, Coleman Young in Detroit. Of course, previously you had Gary Hatcher in Gary, Indiana. What you saw for the first time was African Americans being able to access economic capital in this country. Maynard Jackson gets elected in 73. African Americans were receiving 0.0012% of all city contracts in Atlanta. I didn't say 1%. I didn't say 0.5%. I didn't say 0.12. They were 0.0012% of all city contracts. Maynard Jackson comes in. He says, ain't going to happen, not when you have a city that the significant number of African Americans. The reason Atlanta is called the Black Mecca today, because economically, you're part of that particular process. When you talk about Prince George's County being called today the richest black county in the country based upon home values, a lot of that is because of, again, contracting opportunities that came when Marion Barry was mayor, and then coming out of that. Now, what you have, and when you're talking about the black community, and when you're looking at overall, you have to look at the fact of the matter is this here. African Americans have been technically fully free Americans for only 53 years. 64 Civil Rights Act, 65 Voting Rights Act, 68 Fair Housing Act, and you still were dealing with being locked out. Okay. When you look at it, look, it comes to money. If you're not having a money conversation in America, you ain't having a real conversation. And so when you talk about 400 plus years, and you're only being technically free 53 years, and you've been locked out consistently out of corporate America. I have actually met, which is sad, individuals who were the first African Americans to ever work at major companies, and they got there in 72, 73, 75, 78. And you're like, what the heck? So when you've been locked out economically, which has an impact on every single place in America, housing, health, education, then you see where we are today. But has there been progress? Yes. Has there been enough progress? No.
Do you see what he did there? He changed the question to something that he could answer. He's now answering, has there been any progress in Black America in 60 years? But he never lists anything that the Democrats have done in that time. And that was the original question. Here's the question once again.
If Democrats have had that vote since 64, that's 60 years, 59 years to be exact, how come blacks haven't made major progress if Democrats care about blacks as much as they do?
So if Roland is answering the original question, is he saying that 60 years is not enough time for Democrats to do anything for black people? Because Asian Americans received a hate crime bill 5 months after Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were sworn into office. But Roland Martin says 60 years of black people voting for Democrats is not enough time for them to do anything for black people.
Roland, so if I can finish my question.
Yep.
Okay. I'll let you go, but you got to let me finish my question.
Go ahead.
Okay. So if we have a leadership team running an insurance company for 5 years and the company isn't growing, you're going to sit there and say, okay, cool. Hey, you know what? You guys don't go talk to the employees. We do. Great. That doesn't mean you're good to the employees. That just means you're going out there to talk to the employees and to brag about the fact that you're talking to the employees. Let's give them 5 more years. Let's give them 10 more years. Let's give them 20 more years. Let's give them 53 years. Fast forward today, if you can pull up this article, you're a data guy. 27 of the top 30 crime-ridden cities in America ran by Democrats.
Yep.
If they are all about blacks, why are their policies ruining great communities?
Question for you. Pull it back up.
Yeah.
What's the root cause of it?
What is it?
No, I'm asking you. No. You raise it up. No. You said 27 of the top 30 crime-ridden cities.
You're the expert.
No. Here's the deal, though. If
I'll read the article for you. Pull it up.
If you're going to ask the question, what I need you to do is I need you to then go, okay, what actually, looking at those communities, what actually happened in those areas? You brought up Chicago. Lived there 6 years. What is it?
You tell us.
No,
You're
no,
the
no.
expert.
See, here's the deal, though. This is the. See,
I'm giving up statistics.
No,
I'm giving you statistics.
No, you're giving stats.
This is 27 out of 30,
Right, no,
which you like. You like stats and facts.
I'm giving you stats, but here's the
nothing
deal.
about what I said is not a fact.
No,
so
no, no.
I'll read it to you.
But here's the failure.
As of June 22nd,
Right.
Okay, go to the top. I'll read the entire article for you.
No,
and
you
then
don't
give
have
me
to. You don't have to.
That's what you're asking me.
No, that's not what I'm asking
A
you.
new report shows that Democrat policies in cities and counties are responsible for rising crime rates in their otherwise red states.
What are the policies?
The Heritage Foundation today. Whatever the policies are is Democratic policies.
No. What are the policies?
How can anyone have a sane conversation with this man? He's so annoying with the no every 5 seconds. So Roland is asking what the Democratic policies are that's ruining these major cities. And this is just another way of deflecting the question. And shouldn't he be answering what the Democratic policies are, since he's asking black people to vote for the Democrats once again?
Whatever the policies are, I don't need to know the policies.
Yes, you do.
No, I do not. I don't need to know the policies. All I need to know is if you.
So you're saying Democratic policies, but what other policies?
But wait a minute. If I give you and I vote for you, and you're supposed to take care of me, why are 27 out of top 30 cities in America in crime ran by Democrats? Why?
First, I will tell you. First of all, it's where African Americans are living. So let's bring up Chicago in particular. What you have had in Chicago is you have had some of the greatest racial segregation, not in 20 years, not in 30 years, but literally in 100 plus years.
Led by Democrats.
No, hold on.
Now he's blaming the problems in Black America on segregation. But most communities are segregated. Asians live among Asians. Mexicans have their own communities. Arabs have their own communities. Black people have their own communities. The difference is the Democratic policies in the 27 of the 30 cities where mostly black people live are crime-ridden and poor.
Broke as hell. Explain that. Explain me the highest. Tell me when you have. Hold on. Wait.
Don't spin.
No, I'm not spinning.
No, don't change.
No. What I'm
Let's
showing
stay
you.
on topic.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
Let's stay on topic.
We're
the
on
topic is crime 27 out of 30, not economic. Economic is a different story.
No, it's not.
But I agree with you that we need to get the financial situation.
No. And you're making the mistake.
You went to Mississippi. No, you're making the mistake.
No. Here's the mistake you're making.
27 out of 30.
Here's the mistake you're making. When you say crime, I just obliterated a black conservative in my show on this whole issue. When you say crime, you have to then say, okay, what creates crime? No, what creates crime? What creates crime?
When people are not doing well financially.
What else?
Your surrounding and environment, who you're around.
No, what else?
Pick up habits.
What else?
Bad policies.
No. What else? See, you're jumping to policies.
But it is bad policies. Wait a minute.
No.
If I lead a company,
Roland, the underpinning. Hold on, wait.
If I run a company and I'm the CEO of the company, if the company improves or doesn't improve is based on my policies. I'm the head running the company, the department. If it doesn't improve, it's because of me.
So let me.
What else would it be?
So let me lay it out to you again.
Go for it.
When you talk about what is the underpinning of crime, John Hope Bryant, founder of Operation Hope, this is what he said.
He's quoting people. He's deflecting. It's a very simple question, but once again, he can't answer. So he goes all around the mulberry bush and comes up empty-handed.
He said, "Show me a community where you've seen a riot with a credit score 700 or higher." The reality is when you talk about crime in this country, you're talking about economics, you're talking about education, you're talking about housing, you're talking about health.
Roland has listed the problems in the black community over and over, and the Democrats keeps promising to fix these problems. That is why the black community continued to vote for the Democrats. But in 60 years, how many of these problems have the Democrats solved?
How many years does it take to change?
What are you talking about?
How many years does it take to create change?
How
long does it take to create change?
First of all, you're talking about a black in America.
How long does it take to create change?
When you have had,
yeah.
Okay.
The next very straightforward question is, how long does it take to create change? The question was asked repeatedly. Roland never answered, and what I noticed is when Roland is backed into a corner, His voice goes up 3 octaves higher.
Walk through 243 years of slavery, 92 years of Jim Crow, and then you get to 1970 when you are technically fully free. You can't act like all of that before did not impact. The issues that you're having now have to do with not Democratic or Republican policies. It has to do with literally white supremacy and Jim Crow in America. We are still, to act as if we are still not dealing with that. How did housing discrimination take place in this country? Do you know who created it? The realtors. They apologized for it.
Why are you going away from the question?
No, because
Roland,
here's the deal, though. You don't want to deal with what creates crime areas.
You got to realize this. Listen,
I'm dealing with the real truth. How they create it. What you're dealing with is, there are Democratic areas. What I'm dealing with is how do you deal with the historical reality of neighborhoods that simply can't be just, we elected one person and they're just going to change it.
Roland, this is you. You're smart.
No, your mom said it.
I understand, but you're a smart guy, bro. Listen, when I watch you, you're not a dummy. You're very smart, okay? So sometimes John Maxwell says something very important that I completely held to myself. And every time I break this, I don't like it. He said, the moment you learn sales and you learn persuasion, okay? The moment you learn the ability how to persuade, you, me, we learn how to persuade. He says, be very careful to not go one step above that, which is to manipulate just to win all arguments, because you can. You can win any argument if you want to. You can play devil's advocate and flip the argument, play the Republican side, and you make one hell of an argument to beat a Democrat, because you can do that. You have the ability, I have the ability as well. I don't want to do that. What I'm asking you right now is the following. Results. Today,
yes,
27 out of 30 cities that are ran by Democrats are the highest crime in America. That's stats.
What states are those in? What are those states?
The states are different than the community.
New York, Chicago, LA.
But that's not the thing. The state is the community. The city is where.
What are you talking about?
The city you're in is what you can touch. Every year you come up and you say, "Re-elect me. I can help."
The state.
Roland Martin uses the same tactic throughout the entire conversation. Deflection. He changes the subject. And now his voice is in panic mode. The secret is to talk until the other person forgets the question. He's asking about the Democratic cities. Roland's answer is to talk about who's running the state.
Even within the African American community, when you dealt with Jim Crow, you couldn't live anywhere else. You literally could not live anywhere else. Bottom line is, if you were black and had money, and then you were black and broke, you were literally living in the same neighborhood. After Jim Crow ends with integration, what then happened? Those African Americans who were upper middle class began to move away. What then began to happen was you had areas where poverty increased even more so.
Why move away, though? Why move away?
Because
if you care about the community, why not stay there and change it?
Well, first of all, does anybody else move?
What do you mean?
Who the hell else don't move? How do you think suburbs were created?
But wait a minute.
What do you mean? How do you think white flight was created? So everybody else get to move, but we can't move?
But if you act like you care about the community as much as you do, stay there.
But I'll answer your question. Do you know why? Because when African Americans were living in black neighborhoods, they also had economically depressed housing values, and the reality is they were not able to
change it. Help change it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, hold on.
I'll give you an idea. Are you familiar with Palmdale?
I'm going to need you to be drug tested. Seriously.
This answer by Roland Martin is an embarrassment for the black community. For him to be so insulted by being asked to help the black community by working to change the negative things about it. But for him to tell you to your face that it is an absurd idea that when a black person reaches a certain income level, they should be insulted if someone advised them to help fix the community that they come from. How are black people listening and following this man?
I'm stating fact.
Yeah.
What you don't like
No.
What you refuse to acknowledge or accept, because you're stuck on Democrats have had it for 53 years. You act as
I'm
if.
asking
No,
you.
wait, hold up. You act as if in those 53 years, Republicans have never had power. You act as if Republicans have never had the House or the Senate or the White House.
Here's what I said
here's
to
the
you.
question.
I said to you.
Show me how the Republicans
There's no way
changed.
to talk with you, bro. I got to tell you. So
show me how Republicans changed.
So here's what I tell you.
Give me examples.
Are you going to let anybody speak?
I'm waiting for your examples.
If you have 92% of an entire community's vote.
Like the evangelicals?
For 60 years.
Like the evangelicals?
Evangelicals are also part of that black vote. If you have 92%.
You actually don't understand evangelicals and black evangelicals.
If you have 92% of the black vote for 59 years, 59 years later, 27 out of 30 cities for crime are ran by Democrats, your policies don't work.
And let me ask you this question.
People have to revisit.
I'm going to ask you again.
Let me finish and I'll let you talk.
Ahead.
You either have to consider new policies or the voters have to consider a new party.
And let me ask you this question.
First, why is he answering a question with a question? Second, he's not going to answer the question, but I will put money on him dodging and deflecting and quite frankly acting like a clown on this man's podcast.
When Republicans have been in charge of the House, the Senate, the White House, or the governor's mansion, or state rep and state senators, or the legislature, because 31 states right now, they control both chambers, a significant number of them in the South, where the majority of black people are. Please show me empirical data how the lives of black people have fundamentally changed under Republican rule. I'll wait.
Master Deflector with no answer. Do black people really take this man seriously? He was asked the policy of Democrats, and the first thing out of his mouth is Republicans. Is he serious?
And this is what I will tell you.
Mississippi,
Here's
Florida,
what I will tell you.
Arkansas, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia. I've given you multiple states.
You still haven't answered the question.
I answered your question.
No, you have not.
No, you don't like the answer.
No, you have not answered the question.
I have.
You blamed and deflected.
You don't like the answer.
What is the answer?
You don't like the answer.
What's the answer?
I gave you multiple
Your answer is tell me about Memphis. It's deflect. That's a deflection.
So first of all, I never even brought up Memphis.
Who did you just, not Memphis, Mississippi.
Mississippi.
You deflect.
No, I'm giving you an example.
Of what?
No, because since you
haven't explained 27 out of 30.
Let me say it again.
You haven't explained.
Let me say it again.
59 years you've had the vote.
You say, and I'm telling you.
What have you done about it?
Since you said, oh my God, you Democratic votes, show me in Republican red as states how they have improved the lives of African Americans.
This book is a life-changing book. Oprah Winfrey talked about this a long time ago. Go to the one that says the color, bottom left. Yeah, that one right there. So it explains different levels that we go through. Mm-hmm. Shame at the bottom, which is the lowest level of consciousness. Then it's guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason. Then you got love, joy, peace, enlightenment. Okay? I feel like you can't be wrong at all. Okay? And it's mathematically impossible to have a conversation to say, I think this is where we got it wrong. Here's where we could do this.
Why?
We can do that. I don't know if there's an ability to say, I can see how we can improve in this area. I can see how we can improve in that area based on the conversation I'm having with you.
But you run a company. We do this exact same thing in companies. The reality is this here. When I'm looking at a show, folks go like, was that a great show?
Oh, I think they'll say this is a great show.
No. Follow me. No, what I'm saying,
right?
Because I own a company,
right?
If somebody goes, Roland, that was a great show. To them, that was a great show. To me, I'm looking at the show a different way.
Right.
I'm looking at graphics, speed of playing clips.
Sure.
I'm looking at that. So I may not say it's a great show. That's why I'm saying it is subjective based upon who is answering that particular question.
What has the Democratic Party done for black people in the past 60 years that have made an improvement in the black community? That was a simple question that Roland Martin has yet to answer. And since he has already said that neither party wants to see the black community do well, why is he continuing to advocate for the Democratic Party? And just because Roland Martin is loud and can spit out a few facts and remember names in history, that doesn't mean that he cares for the black community. But because he hides the truth and keeps you entertained, do you actually believe that he cares about the black community? And because Roland Martin is such an advocate for the Democratic Party, you have to think that he's getting kickbacks for his efforts in getting black people to come out to the polls to vote for them.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you." If fool me, we can't get fooled again.